Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to my channel, Pisces. Happy solar returns. This is your March 2021 soul story. So if you have a Pisces sun rising or your moon, this is a general reading. It might resonate for you. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. If you enjoy, please do drop me a like and a comment. Make sure you're subscribed. So we are opening up your reading this month with the energy of strength. And there was a quote that I was reading just before I was tuning in to connect for you, and it felt really poignant actually for your energy, by a gentleman called Jaya John. And it said, "How many breaths does it take to get to the center of peace? None. You are the center of peace. Now breathe." And actually, I think this card really beautifully encapsulates the energy of that message as well, because what we need to do is remind ourselves of how far we've already come. Now, the stars in March are a little bit sweeter than we have experienced of late, which does not mean that we're not presented with challenges and we might not still be going through, difficult circumstances within our life. But what it does mean is that the energy is a little bit more conducive and supportive and opening up to help us find progress and solutions and a way forward. And what we're seeing with the energy of strength is a rising resiliency within you, that you are utterly worthy of a beautiful life, and that everything that is happening to you or has happened up to this point is helping to shape out the future that you are desiring for yourself. And we just want you to remember that all of that experience that you've been through, no matter how challenging, how difficult, how emotional, has brought about a knowledge and a wisdom. And that's information, and that is information that can help you to feel more empowered by way of moving forward in your life, so that as you come up against more bumps in the road, you are taking things more and more in your stride. And so it's a really beautiful, empowered message that I want to open up for this March reading for you, Pisces. So on the 3rd, we're going to welcome Mars moving into the sign of Gemini, which means that communication starts to flow. Obviously, we're out of Mercury retrograde, maybe a little bit in shadow energy still. However, the conversations, the connections, and the desire to get things done and get things moving is going to be really front and center stage. So we have the energy of shadow work coming through here. And in this particular deck, this is an addition to the main 78 cards. And actually, you can see how she's literally holding this gift to you as you are in this energy of empowerment, of rising strength, of finding the courage within to be able to navigate what comes next. Now, what I really love about this month is on the 7th, we're also welcoming the asteroid goddess Pallas Athena into your sign. And so it's bringing this level of wisdom, healing, this beautiful mystical connection and intelligence that's really going to help you in so many aspects of your life. And I think you're going to be considering the question, really, Pisces, at the moment, of how the way that you are seeing yourself is changing, and really how you want other people to perceive you. But at the same time, for me, there's really this powerful statement that you've got nothing to prove this month, okay? You have nothing to prove. What we want more than anything is for you to just live your life right now. Live each moment, meet the moment, and see what it has to show you, to demonstrate to you, to teach you, and meet it there. Don't try to justify, don't try to seek for the validation. And if you can move into this time of rebirth for yourself during your solar returns, I think you're going to really understand so much of what is happening around you and why at this particular time. So we then welcome a gorgeous new moon on the 13th in your sign. So actually, those dates between the 7th and the 13th of this month, as the goddess Athena moves into your sign, and then we build up to that point of new beginning, and we have the high priestess, of course, linked to your sign, Pisces, coming through. I think is going to be a really sacred, magical time. The synchronicity is going to be profound, and I really want you to think about the areas of your life that are starting to shift and move by way of rebalance, because we're going to be making our way toward the equinox later through the month of March. So really important as you approach that new moon to seek within your own spiritual counsel, to really reflect on the way that you are changing and how you are commanding the energies in new ways. And, the belief that you are worthy of this exceptionally extraordinary, beautiful life, and how your intuition wants to guide you at this moment in time. Because High Priestess is, sitting in this empowered position right now. She's wanting to take charge of her own situation. She's holding space for herself. She's doing things on her terms, but she's also in a deeply peaceful energy. Remember this quote, how many breaths does it take to get yourself to the center of peace? None. You are the center of peace. Now breathe. This is the approach that we want to give you as we're working through. Now, information, revelations, things coming to light, perhaps impacting on your decision or your thought process, particularly through that first part of the month. We have Venus still in your sign right up until the 21st. So it's bringing in that beautiful way of being able to connect lovingly with yourself, but also with those aspects of your life that you are reacquainting yourself to help fall back in love or reimagine or reinvigorate things. The retrograde cycle, when we talked about the need for active evaluation, was helping to bring that kind of a thought process to the front of your awareness. And now as we come into March and April, when we've got a very directive, very action orientated time where the stars are really supportive of this, you are going to really think about what it is that you want to achieve and do for yourself on the basis of knowing, like we said, that you have nothing to prove. Now on the 15th, we then have Mercury moving into your sign, helping you to communicate in a way that feels good for you. That feels good for you. So not trying to bend and acquiesce too much to other people's wanting to control or wanting to be in charge of the narrative or the directive. Here we've got the Nine of Cups, which is suggestive of you finding pleasure, satisfaction, you finding fulfillment in things that matter to you. And that doesn't mean that anybody else has to agree or get on board. And I think that's really one of the powerful messages I want to give to you through this month of March. This knowing that you're worthy of a beautiful life means that you get to be in the driver's seat of making the decisions that are going to reflect on that basis, okay? It's also a reminder not to let go of some of the hopes, dreams and desires that you have, or perhaps that you are going to be really reacquainting yourself and putting something into action. It's not just thinking about one day I want to. That day is come, and so there's something about being able to seize the moment and really think about what it is that you need to do within your life to rebalance and change. Now, because I'm seeing that there's so much synchronicity coming through to support you, if you can harness that new moon energy around the 13th, the days leading up to it and after, what you're going to find is the universe will meet you halfway, and some of the things that perhaps you're trying to get off the ground or you're trying to invigorate or find a solution for, there's just going to be a little bit more help and support that comes your way. It does show you as highly emotional and perhaps having to dig deep in relation to certain situations. But again, you are being gifted this knowledge and understanding of what it is that is going to support you, or where you need to apply a little bit more self-healing, or, perhaps some of those honest conversations. We talked a little bit about that in your reading last month. The Three of Cups comes in by way of something to celebrate. And of course, we're celebrating your solar returns right now, and I think it's important that you do acknowledge that, not discrediting how far you've come, but actually realize just what you've been through in the last 12 months and how it's changed you, how it's shaped you. The desire for more connection right now will be felt really strongly, perhaps realizing that you're coming to the last mile, or that time when things are about to change or shift or open up a little bit more, and just really craving or seeking that that kind of sisterhood or that brothers in arms feeling where you can draw around you the people who really get you, who really understand you, who see you, and are really going to lift you up and praise you. And I think that you have an awful lot of support wanting to make themselves known to you through the course of March. So if you have felt a little bit like an island of late, you should also see that energy start to open up a little bit more. But make sure you're also setting your intention and asking and being open to how that can come towards you. I actually feel like some of you may be really exploring like new friendships and connections as well. It feels like there's an influx of fresh new energy into your life, and that's going to be really progressive and positive to help you achieve perhaps some of the dreams and ambitions that you've got. It's almost like go seek out the people who are already doing it, or that can help put you in touch or open up the space, or just have similar types of ideas and aspirations in their own life. There's something about being really inspired and motivated by putting yourself in and around the energy of other people similar in that way. There is this sense of us having 10 of Cups here, okay, a lot of high emotion coming in, so feeling like you want to get to the point of completion with something, and you're getting there. Now, maybe it's not the final point, it might be just to a certain level or to the closure of a specific chapter, okay? But what Spirit are saying is you should be rightly proud of everything that you've put in to get yourself to this point. So, regardless of where it is, Pisces, maybe it's just the stage that you're at in healing from a breakup or a loss. Maybe it's the stage you're at in terms of trying to progress, something in and around your self-care, your spiritual journey, your soul work, or even regards a specific relationship or in your business and career. So think about how you can acknowledge the level that you are at this moment and be really accepting and proud of that. Don't put yourself in that place of saying, I should be further on, or this should have happened, because you're just washing away all of that beautiful, bright, positive energy that can bolster you and actually provide a really solid foundation for what the next leap that's going to come in for you, especially as we come into that Aries energy and we're dealing with all of that beautiful second house of value and helping you to bring into the material more abundance in all aspects of your life. So, of course, the 10 of Cups suggests there's maybe some family things going on for some of you, particularly by way of female connections and relationships that might be highlighted through the course of this month as well. So stay tuned for that. With Venus in your sign up until the 21st, like we said, you have the opportunity to be able to get your perspective and to speak from a place that feels true and authentic and from a good place, okay? If you are still struggling or having some issues in and around the connection or communication with important people in your life, even if they are not of family or necessarily female, there is also a suggestion about the timing of this. Your High Priestess comes in with a really important reminder that sometimes we just need to sit back and observe and wait for exactly the right moment before we announce or we release or express how we feel and why we feel that way. And you may even decide, honestly, Pisces, that March might not be the exact moment for you to do that. Perhaps there's something about you just having to strengthen your own energy or your own understanding about how you feel about something or the vision that you have, and just get it a little bit further off the ground or in a place where you feel more centered and grounded before you kind of invite in any type of energy that might derail you or just upheaval you a little bit, okay? Remember, Pallas Athena working with you beautifully with all of that wisdom, healing, and intellect. She's also going to bring in a lot more compassion. So where do you need to be more compassionate with yourself, but also perhaps with others? Now, again, that doesn't mean you necessarily have to forgive if you're not in a place where you're ready to do that, but it does help you to understand or put yourself in a position of knowing that Everyone is on a unique journey right now and working through, some pretty difficult challenges by way of awakening. And so sometimes it's just your job to step back and allow that specific journey to unfold without the need to kind of get involved in the process. And equally, you just might need a little bit extra time for yourself this month just to really root something into being. Remember, in your solar returns, you're literally shedding a skin and birthing like a new version of the self. And that can just take a little bit of time to get used to, You've celebrated it. Now we're just going to spend that sacred time kind of having the conversations. And again, sort of leading back to that note about how you want to be perceived. This is an interesting question that I think you're going to be considering. If you have changed, then what is it you now need to present out by way of energy to other people? So we have the Eight of Pentacles coming in here, and I love the fact that we have a double rainbow symbol coming through here, and I think the rainbow is going to be important for many of you through the course of this month. Look for it as a sign if it's reflecting something on a spiritual level from your guides or angels. I feel like it's bringing in positive news. It's also indicating for me that there is a positive reward for the investment that you've made in a specific area. So whether that be in your vacation business, within yourself or your relationships, what we're looking at, as we come toward the culmination with that beautiful full moon in Libra coming in on the 28th of the month, wanting to bring in balance. Remember, equinox comes in and invites that to happen, and there's going to be a lot of synchronicity. So you should see a little bit of the opening up of the skies. We can see the beautiful galaxy that's being revealed here. And again, as we look at it beneath the Nine of Cups, it feels very directly related to something that you've been hoping and aspiring for some time. You've had to be strong. You've had to wait. I feel like you've had to wait it out, or you've really had to dig deep in order to hold the faith with something. But this is your time when you start to see the recognition and all these beautiful symbols that are indicating the journey that you've taken, and over the sand dunes, not an easy journey that you've had, and yet this is a time that we want you to celebrate the accomplishment. We want you to recognize that, there is enough even at this point to recognize your worthiness for the kind of life that you are hoping and working towards, and maybe indeed already enjoying or feeling grateful for, I think for some of you, by way of career, vocation, and the learning that is happening in and around you just now, there may be this point of closure or release, something coming to an end, okay? What we need to do is surrender into that release and understand it's an inevitable part of the cycle, okay? I feel for some of you, there may be some question marks a little bit around some relationships, perhaps where you feel a little bit let down, or you feel a little bit unsure as to the agenda. Spirit are really coming in and reminding you through the course of this month, Pisces, not to lower your vibrational frequency by trying to step into the energy of someone else and think about where they're coming from, or why they're doing what they're doing, or why they took the action that they did. Because in sitting in that energy, all you're doing is you're taking yourself further and further away from the things that are meant for you, the light that is here for you, and the progress that can be yours, okay? So if you find yourself bumping up against some kind of situations that have you feeling a little bit disconnected and perhaps a little disappointed, or feeling like somebody's perhaps acted in a way that you didn't expect, then just keep a focus on how you can protect and keep that energy nice and strong and centered on what it is that you do want, okay? The sun moving into Aries on the 20th with the equinox can sometimes bring in, every time we shift a season, but particularly with the equinox, this beautiful time of fresh new beginning, a new chapter coming in, but it can bring upheaval with it. It can bring about changes because they're fated and they're timed. And even though we might be ready for them, welcoming of them, it can still feel a little bit unnerving, okay? The best way to approach that Eight of Pentacles, ground your energy, find some rituals, some processes, even distract yourself by way of making sure that you are doing things that you can see small progress in, even step by step by step. You know, don't get too overwhelmed if the big picture feels too impossible at the moment. That said, all of the energy that is in your sign working with you through the course of March, Pisces, is really helping you to tap into that beautiful natural essence and that ability to dream, to imagine, to visualize, to create, and to see more for yourself, you know. And we want you to harness that, but from a place of peace, you know, not from a place of frenzy or from a place of feeling like you're being pushed or coerced into anything. Okay, Six of Wands, beautiful energy of success to come. Perhaps the suggestion that the success might come by way of shared success, okay? So you might find if you're in a partnership or perhaps you and another meaningful person in your life is also doing well, because I've got something about joint celebrations that's coming in quite strongly. It's also a reminder not to give up. If you feel like you're at a point where you want to give up and you want to throw the towel in, then actually right around the corner is something to really reward you. Remember what we said, this double rainbow coming through just to give you that energy of validation, really, okay? Let's just remind ourselves that we have nothing to prove this month. And if we are just living our life, okay, and we know that inherently we already are worthy, we already are successful, we already have the support, and we're already drawing towards us the connections that are going to help us to progress in our lives, then we can let ourselves off the hook and allow some of that weight to be released a little bit, okay? What I do like about the energy of the six coming in is suggesting that the strength that you're given and that you find and that is inherent within you, Pisces, is going to get you to where you need to be, and the outcome of that will be victorious for your highest good, okay? So something to celebrate, even if it's imagined slightly differently to what you had laid out for yourself. Be open, because there are things coming in that are going to be beautifully sweet this month and remind you what it's all for. That's what I'm feeling. There'll be a reminder of what it's all for. Now, that full moon in Libra on the 28th, of course, wants to bring more harmonization with a focus in and around relationships especially, okay? And again, what I'm feeling through the course of this reading is that you are putting yourself in a position where you're more empowered than you've ever been. So if you are in a relationship right now, I feel like you're speaking from the heart. Embrace your emotions, allow your feelings to surface and be accepted. So being true to yourself. But also, I feel like there may be some interesting revelations coming your way. So people just surprising you a little bit, actually. Perhaps by giving you more information on the background to something. That's what I feel is coming through. So, you know, you might be able to make more sense of why somebody did something or didn't do it, or perhaps just that the conversation is able to go to a deeper level because somebody's just allowing you in a little bit more, okay? That might also work on your side as well, that you're just prepared and you find the right time, the right moment, whether it's through March or into April, to share with somebody your journey or what your true feelings are about a specific situation. You know, if you are single, the emphasis in and around those love relationships in your life, people that really lift you up and are part of that soul family that make you feel safe and respected and that are really healthy and nurturing for you, are going to be highlighted to you. So for me, it's going to be a really clear month of getting to grips with knowing who you should be spending your time and directing your energy and investment with, and who perhaps it's time to say goodbye or to create some distance or give yourself a little bit of space from, just so that you can maintain your own equilibrium, okay? That feels important. What are the creative ideas and inspirations that you've got? You know, these are going to be coming up really strongly for you. New ones emerging, but also returning to things that you've worked on previously that are getting a beautiful new lease of life. And I see you feeling really excited about things. Here we have the courageous peony. Multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. Okay, so it's this reminder of just embracing everything about who you are, knowing that you don't have anything to prove as a result of that, and really being able to take the important steps and starting to put your own action plan into place to make that happen. If you sit back and wait for that big break to come, or for somebody to all of a sudden realize your value, whether that be in a relationship or be in the work that you do, then you're going to be sat around waiting for a while. This is the time for you to seize it and to educate people and to express it and to know that it is the truth. And if you can embody it, then you will naturally start to draw towards you responses and connections and people that are going to emulate that back to you anyway, Pisces, okay? So for me, I just see this as a really progressive emotional month for you, one that can see you making breakthroughs by way of what it is that you want, why you want it, and what you want to do about it, okay? You have an awful lot of wisdom and connection coming through from your guides to help support the advancement of that, and I do see you feeling more empowered, even if you're having to dig deep and feeling like you are being tested and pushed to your limits at the moment, okay? There's a beautiful softness that comes in March that you might not have felt for some time, astrologically speaking, and I think that will deliver respite in one or more areas of your life. So take that and allow it to rebalance you as you start to cultivate the energy and really make the use of this equinox to allow something to completely come back into balance in your life and set you off in a new direction and a new chapter. Okay, so Pisces, this is a general reading, and I'd encourage you just to check back through the month and see how some of these messages might continue to resonate for you. If you'd like to join me for the extended version of your reading, I'm going to go ahead and pull us some cards specifically for a question that you have that might not have been answered in this general reading, yeah? So if you just put a little bit of a focus on that now for me, okay? And we'll go ahead and pull a couple of cards for you. You can find the link for the extended reading just in the description box underneath the video in the comments section. Okay, so we'll cover off your question in that additional reading, which is about 20 minutes or so. So I'm just going to clarify this main spread now. So beginning with strength, we have the Four of Crystals. So this is the Spirit Song deck, and crystals connect into pentacles or coins. Here we have the Nine of Crystals. Shadow work is bringing in the Empress. Love that Empress energy for you. Queen of Feathers. Feathers is relating to the energy of air. So we have Queen of Swords coming through here. Perception and truth. Beautiful. And the energy of the Hermit. The Hermit and the High Priestess, really powerful advisors for you through the course of this month, Pisces. Four of Acorns, this is the Wands, the fire energy, okay? And there we have our water with the Knight of Shells. Such a beautiful deck, this one. Transformation coming through, that's the energy of death and the major arcana. King of Pentacles there, and the Emperor. So security being really highlighted, or perhaps a very significant male energy, authority figure, father, husband, something going on in and around this. And we have the Wheel of Fortune here. Card of the Lovers coming through, which of course links into Gemini. That Mars and Gemini all the way through this month is really going to give some motivation and, you know, deliver an awful lot of information, communication that's going to be helpful, I think, in just giving you clarity where you need it. Okay, Pisces, I'm just going to pull a couple more here. All right, So I hope that you would like to join me for the extended, but otherwise I'm going to wish you a beautiful solar returns. Thanks so much for tuning in for your soul story. Hope you've enjoyed listening. Take good care and we'll speak to you again soon. Lots of love.